Kalalayam Yahweh, Bashem Yoshai, Basham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS who teach us His truth, and salutation to our brothers scattered abroad amongst the nations, some who look like the nations. So this is Fair Use, the Ambanaya, and this one is about the system that control this world. So Fair Use.
Leslie Clark said we're gonna invade 7 countries in 5 years. What you were talking about were the countries where those central banks were not on board to do programmable money, and their governance structures were not on board with essentially, because of Epstein, I'll call it the Rockefeller Rothschild model. There was an effort to say, okay, we're going to basically assert control of the central banks in those countries. That's my interpretation, and I think one of the reasons we're seeing so much tension around Iran is because Iran right now is the big leakage in the system.
How? It's not about their nukes?
No. Iran's central bank counts. One of the reasons it counts is because their oil and energy is very important, including for China.
Yeah.
And that's very important in the BRICS system. What the BRICS system is trying to do is to create independent payment systems. But if you're going to come out with programmable money, with digital IDs that are interoperable globally and programmable money that controls in each jurisdiction centrally, you can't afford leakage. And so you've got way too much leakage in the system to proceed with what they're trying to do. And Iran and the BRIC nations are a sticking point. And certainly Iran's oil, feeding China gives China greater independence.
So you think that one of the motives behind toppling all these governments was the creation of the control grid we're talking about now?
Right. So if you go back, you had the wonderful Richard Werner on your show. And Richard has a book called The Princes of the Yen, which is about the sort of effort to take over the Japanese central bank. And I think what you're looking at, I think part of the state of play with both Russia and Iran is how are you going to make sure that those central banks are entirely in the system?
So, yeah, that was an amazing interview. And he told the story about writing this book on the Japanese central bank. I can't imagine a more obscure topic from my non-economically minded standpoint. It'd be like writing a book on postcards from the Falkland Islands. It's just like, okay, book on the Japanese central bank. And he said, well, actually, they suppressed it. I couldn't get it published in the United States, and you can't get a copy. And that's like checkable. So I checked it. You can't get a copy of the book. It's really hard.
I think you can order from its publisher right now.
Okay.
Right.
But, I mean, why would someone try to suppress
because
a book?
It shows you the truth. It takes you right into the secret governance system, and it shows you the primary mechanism by which they implement policy.
Yeah. Well, it's always the things you're not allowed to say are probably the important things, right? I mean, whenever they penalize you for having a thought, you're probably on the right track.
Well, it's one of the critical train tracks of control. So it's what I call the third rail. So I used to finance transit systems and train systems. So, a lot of these systems have 2 tracks that the wheels go on, and then they have a third rail that the power line runs on. And you get a trim trap that flips over and sucks the energy from the third rail. So a lot of the things that really operate the third rail are very invisible. And for example, in central banking, to talk about tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 capital at the BIS of the banks, there's nothing more boring. It's designed to absolutely...
I just fell asleep in the middle of that sentence.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Is it boring by design?
The way you're taught to talk about it is boring by design.
Brothers, you can go and watch that for yourself. It's on Tucker.
It's like the mechanisms of the legal system.
So
if you look at the mechanisms of civil procedure,
Yeah, I'll get some Bible verses. So the international banking system, these are the people who are enslaving us. Okay? They are the enslaver of our people. Esau Edom rule this thing. He's the ruler of this thing. So Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So from Genesis 27, 38 to 40, you know who the sword is. He was given the blessing of weapons. Whether poison, all these things, it's a weapon. Once it's a weapon, he was given that blessing. And he has been using it to conquer. And Revelation 13 and 16 is what they are trying to implement. Okay. So I'll read Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's Esau Edom. Understand? It's telling about Esau Edom. Because he controls the world, although he tried to hide from it. He changes his name. Take other names on. Also called the name stealers from the Chinese. So Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So the mark is a the charagma. Okay. A etching when you go into the blue letter. Which I have done a few times. And it will be you putting yourself, once you decide to go and take that thing, you're putting yourself in slavery forever. And taking yourself away from the Most High. Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. So the final scripture will be Job 20 and 23. When he's about to fill his belly, Yahweh Hashem Yoshai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he'll be raining missiles upon him while he's taking charge of all of these things and thinking, yes, I have done it. I am in control. I rule completely. I have completely enslaved the world. We are slaves now, but once he controls how you eat, how you think, because he can control your mind with that shit. Yeah. You will be totally under his spell. He will tell you what to think. Yeah. So that's what it will be, total control. So we give all praises to Yahweh, Basham Yoshai, Basham Rakagdash, and the brothers, the elders and the apostles. who teach us this truth. Don't add us to them. Shalom.